vroom, vroom, ring, vang, vroom, vroom, vroom. Oh, hi there, everybody. Today, we're going to read SpongeBob SquarePants, The Great Snail Race. You know, races are part where you can run, to drive, or to swim. But today's book isn't about fast and fury, it's about slow and still steady. It's the snail race. Yes, because you don't need a car or some water or your feet to run. You need a pet snail, because using a snail can win the race is to have some slow and steady. But SpongeBob thinks that slow isn't enough to win the race, so he thinks that fast and fury will win the race. So, is he true that Fast and Fury wins the race? Let's find out. The Great Snail Race. Adapted by Kim Ostro. Illustrated by Clint Bond and Andy Clark. Let's begin. One sunny morning in Bikini Bottom, a postman knocked on Squidward's door. "Aha!" said Squidward. "I can't believe it's finally here." The postman glanced at Squidward's signature. "Thank you, Mr. Tennis balls." "That's tentacles," corrected Squidward.
"Hey, check out Squidward's new snail,"
said Patrick. "Looks like Gary has a new playmate," said SpongeBob. Squidward rolled his eyes. "I wouldn't let Snaily here play with your mongrel mutt. See, Snaily even has her own pedigree papers. So, if you'll excuse us, she has to start her training for the Bikini Bottom Snail Race. She'll be winning this Sunday." "Well, I guess I can't enter Gary in that," said SpongeBob. "Sundays is washing day," Squidward sighed. "You can't enter Gary because Gary isn't a purebred. But Snelly has papers," he said. He showed his fancy document towards SpongeBob. Property of Squidward tentacles, Patrick read. "That's tentacles," corrected Squidward. "Patrick, are you thinking what I'm thinking?" asked SpongeBob.
"Yeah,"
said Patrick.
"I should get a snail and enter it in that race and beat Squidward."
"No, no, no," shouted SpongeBob. "I'm thinking of entering Gary in that race and beating Squidward's snail." I hope Fast and Fury will be true for SpongeBob. SpongeBob had a lot of work to do to whip Gary into shape. He made a nutritional smoothie for his snail. I don't think it's very delicious. "Meow," said Gary. "Well, of course I expect you to eat this," said SpongeBob. "It's scientifically designed to help you win tomorrow." Gary took one look at the drink, sniffing on the drink, and slithered out of the room. Patrick came over to show SpongeBob his new snail. Your snail is a rock, said SpongeBob.
Yeah, I know,
Said Patrick proudly.
he's got nerves of steel. See you at the race.
SpongeBob realized the competition was getting fierce. SpongeBob blew his whistle. Let's start with some sprints. On your marks. Get set. Go! Gary barely moved. Come on, Gary, shouted SpongeBob. You've got to start training if you're going to win. Just then, Squidward peeked in. Don't waste your breath, SpongeBob. That mongrel of yours doesn't have a chance, Squidward said confidently. Hey, stop punching SpongeBob too hard. All right, Gary, no more fooling around, instructed SpongeBob. Come on, move it, move it, move it, move it. Up, down, 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 down. Faster, faster, faster. Go, 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 go. The day of the race finally arrived. Well, SpongeBob, I didn't think your mongrel mutt would even find a starting line, snickered Squidward. Congratulations! Save it for the losers' circle, said SpongeBob. Gary is in the best shape of his life. Gary coughed and wheezed. SpongeBob gave Gary his final pep talk. Listen up, you're the undersale. Everybody's already counting you out. Now get out there and win! Wow, muttered Gary. On your marks, shouted the referee. Get set! Slither! And they're off, said the announcer. Number 6, Snelly rockets out of the starting box, leaving the other 2 competitors in the dust. Go, Snelly! You've got it, baby! Cheered Squidward. SpongeBob was not having the same luck. Gary hadn't budged from the starting line. Oh no! What are you doing, Gary? Shouted SpongeBob. Let's go! Move! The race has started! You're blowing everything we trained for! Ah! Patrick's snail was also still at the start line.
It's okay, Rocky,
Patrick said.
you go when you feel like it.
Maybe Patrick is right. You should go when you feel like it. Except for SpongeBob. Gary slowly began to move. He panted heavily as he trudged ahead. Not good enough! Shouted his coach. Faster! Faster, faster, faster! The more SpongeBob yelled, the faster Gary tried to go. But it was no use. Gary was exhausted. That coach is pushing that snail too hard, said the announcer. Suddenly, Gary's bloodshot eye popped out like a tiger. It looks like number 7's had a blowout, said the announcer. Shortly afterwards, Gary's other eye blew. Make that 2, folks, said the announcer. Gary, you can stop now, said SpongeBob. Gary began to spin out of control, and he headed straight for the wall. Bam! Just like that. The crowd gasped. No! Shouted SpongeBob. Hold on, Gary! I'm coming! SpongeBob raced to Gary's side. One of the coaches has raced onto the track. That is an automatic disqualification. Looks like number 6 has this race all wrapped up, ladies and gentlemen, said the announcer. Squidward cheered. Come on, Snelly, it's all you winning. Oh, Gary, cried SpongeBob. Why didn't you just say that it was pushing you too hard? Meow, said Gary. You did? Asked SpongeBob. Oh, Gary, why didn't you tell me I wasn't listening? Meow, answered Gary. You did? Oh, Gary, wailed SpongeBob. Suddenly, Squidward's bride Snail stopped racing. She turned to look at Gary, and then he rushed to his side. The two snails looked into each other's eyes and purred. My, oh my, folks, said the announcer. I've never seen anything quite like it. It seems Snelly, the leader, just went back to comfort Gary. Looks like you and me are in-laws, eh, Squidward? Said SpongeBob. The crowd cheered as the winner crossed the finish line. Huh? Wait, but that's impossible, said Squidward. And if Snelly didn't win, then who did? And the winner is, shouted the announcer, Rocky! The crowd went wild. Patrick started to laugh until he cried. Squidward moaned. My purebred, which cost me $1,700, lost to a rock. Ah, poor Squidward. Patrick rushed to Squidward's side. Don't worry, said Squidward. Don't worry, Squidward. I know how much you wanted to win, so I had the trophy engraved for you. Squidward took the trophy in his tentacles. Gosh, Patrick, thanks! He looked at the play and read it out loud. The first place Snail Racing Cup presented to Squidward Tortellini! Patrick and SpongeBob happily put their arms around their friend. Will I ever win? Grumbled Squidward. That's the end of the story, but before we go, I have one more reminder. SpongeBob learned that, well, you can't push people hard, even if you're part of a family. Your brother, your sister, your pet, your baby, your twins, your cousins, your nephews, or even your mom and dad and grandma and grandpa. You can't do it like you're a dictator, because pushing people too hard leads to more accidents. And you will always listen to them, one after another, okay? So, goodbye, everyone. I hope you learned our lesson, and thanks for reading with me. Bye!